when I got married, we did have about $10,000 starting off, and I told Susie, I said, now there's two choices. It's up to you. We can either buy a house, which will use up all my capital and clean me out, uh, and it'll be like a carpenter who's had his tools taken away from him, or you can let me work on this, and someday, who knows, maybe I'll even buy a little bit larger house than would otherwise be the case. So.
We are here in Omaha, Nebraska this morning with Warren Buffett, the chairman and CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. He's just released his 55th annual shareholder letter to the shareholders over this weekend. And this is actually the 13th year that we are now in Omaha talking to him after that letter.
Warren Buffett is one of the most well-known billionaires around the world. He's achieved that status not only through frugality, but also through proper investment in certain assets such as homes. In this video, we're taking a look at the inside of Warren Buffett's $10 million homes. Number 8. Omaha Home. The house that Buffett currently resides in was bought by him all the way back in 1958. Yep, he's that old. This house is located in a lovely place called Omaha, Nebraska. Since he was just getting started at the time, he spent around $31,500 for that home. That might not seem like much as of now, but adjusted for inflation, that house had cost him a little less than $300,000. As you may have guessed, house prices have risen since then, and this house is now worth around $652,000. As it turns out, even buying a house turned out to be an investment for him. If you're enjoying the content thus far, be sure to like this video. Now let's move on to some of the details about his home where he likes to spend most of his time. Number 7. Details of Omaha Home. While the house he bought back in the last century was nothing in terms of his net worth, he certainly got a great house for that amount of money. His house is 6,570 square feet in size, which is pretty massive, mind you, and what's inside is even more enticing. This giant house has 5 bedrooms that are all beautifully designed with some of the most exquisite materials that one can get their hands on. Other than that, it also has 2.5 bathrooms that are furnished to the extreme. His house has been outfitted with vintage furniture, and some of the decorations found inside will leave you drooling with pleasure. He also has multiple paintings that are hung on the walls of his Omaha home. Other than looking at paintings, he also has a large bookcase that's home to hundreds of books that he enjoys reading. Number 6. Laguna Beach Home. Billionaires aren't content with having just one home, and as it turns out, neither is Warren Buffett. He also owns a home in Laguna Beach, which is located in Orange County, California. This is considered to be his vacation home, which is more or less along the lines of what would be expected of someone having billions in their bank account. Taking that into account, he spent around $150,000 of his hard-earned money for this property. This is a lot of money before you even consider the rate of inflation. When that's taken into account, the value rises to a whopping $1 million. But that is the price one has to pay to get the amazing benefits that come with the property. Number 5. Perks of Laguna Beach Home. Even though this property is his vacation home and cost him much more than the one he lives in, it covers an area of just 3,588 square feet. Remarkably though, this house has more rooms than his Omaha house. A total of 6 bedrooms can be found inside, each one with its own bathroom attached to it. The designers of this house even threw in another additional bathroom for good measure. Other than that, this house has many other amenities. These include a fireplace and a patio, which by the way, has stunning views of the ocean. That view comes at a steep price of around $9,200 each year, which is the fees Warren Buffett had to pay to get the privilege of living in a gated community. Interestingly, Warren no longer has ownership of this property as he sold it to another lucky person back in 2017. Initially, he had put it up for sale for $11 million, but after a while, he had to settle at just getting $7 million for it. If you consider the initial price he bought it at, this would mean he earned a huge profit by owning this lovely house. Number 4, investing genius. Warren Buffett has made a name for himself not just by investing in safe and successful companies, but by giving startups a chance to grow their business. As you may know, this has turned out to be very lucrative for him, but it did take some years to reach this point. One of the best investments he has ever made was in a company called NetJets, which had a business model but hadn't been heard of before. Their entire business revolved around selling certain wealthy individuals fractional ownership of private jets. With this partial ownership, they could book a flight on a jet without outright owning it. Warren found this idea so enticing that he actually invested more than $18 billion. These days, the business is going smoothly, and he is reaping the rewards of taking the risk on such a company. Number 3, private jet. Warren Buffett has an apparent thirst for private jets that can't be satisfied with just investing in a company that owns them. This may be the reason why he bought one for his own use. He made the purchase about some decades ago. The plane he bought was called the Bombardier Challenger 600, which is one of the best names given to any jet ever. This could have cost him up to $800,000 to buy, making this plane one of his most valuable assets. Warren was so in love with this plane that he gave it the nickname of Indispensable, which clarified to everyone just how important this vehicle was to him. Number 2, Buffett's cars. Since he likes to spend his money wisely, Buffett had driven the same car for a long time. It was a Cadillac, and the design of the car had nothing noteworthy about it. After some convincing, he eventually made another vehicular purchase, but interestingly, he bought another Cadillac. In the age of luxury cars and brands such as Rolls-Royce, why he picked Cadillac is beyond understanding. But in the end, given his age, one wouldn't want him to be driving a car that has some insane level of performance. One of the reasons for sticking with Cadillac could be the nostalgia that he has for the company, or maybe he just wanted a bit of familiarity in his new car. Even after this, the car he currently drives can go from 0 to 60 in just about 7.3 seconds, which is blazingly fast for a 91-year-old, mind you this. Number 1, giving pledge.
The ones that really get hurt on it are either life or annuity companies that have promised returns. The property casualty business doesn't promise returns. It still holds money, so it hurts them.
Unlike many other billionaires, Warren Buffett has been very focused on giving back to charity. And we're not talking about a few $1,000,000 here and there, but more like $42 billion, which is the estimated amount that he has given away to those in need. But perhaps his most important accomplishment has been the establishment of the Giving Pledge. As the name hints at, any billionaire who signs this pledge vows to donate a majority of their riches to whoever may be in need. There are many other billionaires who have signed on to this pledge, such as the ex-wife of Jeff Bezos, Mackenzie Scott, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg, and Tesla and SpaceX CEO Elon Musk. So these were some of the details of Warren Buffett and his investments. It's obvious that he has a good head on his shoulders, and here's hoping that he keeps on investing in deserving endeavors. And as always, I'll catch you guys later in another video. Bye now!